But at the same time, I was reading Napoleon Hill. And Napoleon Hill talked about one concept that really stood out in my mind, because he said that above all, that was the concept that made people rich. I later would find out that all the billionaires were saying the same thing. And but the concept was the concept of single-mindedness of purpose. Single-mindedness of purpose. What he said was that the great fortunes were made in the world more often than not as a result of somebody latching on to the thing that they were going to do and taking it for the ride, taking it the distance, carrying it all the way, going the full distance, right? That's that single-mindedness of purpose. In fact, when we teach our billionaire bootcamp training, one of the things that we say is that there's never been any 10-figure net worth, that means $1 billion and above, that's ever been made from sheer passive investment in the stock market. Most great fortune, nor were most great fortunes made through diversification. They were preserved through diversification, but most great fortunes were made through a concentration of purpose and energy, pouring your energy into a singular direction. Think Microsoft, think Apple, think IBM, think Tesla, think eBay, think Amazon, any of these big companies. That's a singular concentration of direction and energy and focus. And it's kind of like Warren Buffett says. He says, life is like a snowball. What you need is a really long hill and some really wet snow. You know, when people ask me, why am I so rich? It's because I'm so old. He said, I just lasted the longest. Raise your hand right now if you think that persistence and resilience have something to do with your success. Raise your hands right now if you think that. Yeah, so it's going the distance, it's staying the distance, but equally important, it's staying the distance on that really long hill with that really wet snow. When you think of the kids in the Mickey Mouse Club, you think of Britney Spears, Christina Aguilera, Justin Timberlake. It's no wonder that they became as famous as they did because they started at a very young age and they found their really long hill with their really wet snow. And so they poured their attention and their energy into the perfection of that snowball that was getting bigger and bigger and bigger and compounding, right? We hear about compounding interest oftentimes as it relates to money. You know, they say if you start investing at an earlier age, you just, 2 years earlier and you're a millionaire by whatever age because of the law of compounding, the idea of compounding. Brandon, how many times can you fold a napkin before it gets to the moon?